the Israelis have decided to sell their tank, right, to two countries, which they're not naming, right? So let me read this to you. This is from Yahoo, okay? They say that in the Times of Israel, in this interview published, the Israeli government said that there are two potential countries with which we are holding advanced negotiations on a sale of the Merkava tanks, right? That's the name of it. And they did not say which country it is, right? But they said that one of them is European. We'll take a guess. Which one do you think is in need of tanks right now in Europe? It's Ukraine, right? I mean, Ukraine is not really Europe, is it? But I guess in their view it is. It's Ukraine. Ukraine is going to get those tanks. And the other country is Azerbaijan. How do I know this? Because I've done videos about this, about the relationship between Israel and Azerbaijan, and you might be thinking, like, where the hell did you get Azerbaijan from? I'll tell you where I got Azerbaijan from. Azerbaijan is right next to Iran, right? They're next door neighbors. So more than half of Azerbaijan's weapons come from Israel. Think of that. The majority of their weapons, of their arsenal, come from Israel. That's their number one source of weapons. And then during the last visit of, I believe it was the Israeli president, right? Right after he left Azerbaijan, do you know what they did? They increased their military budget by $1 billion, right? And so now they're using that to buy these tanks. And Israel has agents and is operating out of Azerbaijan because they want to monitor Iran. They want to sabotage Iran. They want to run basically a base of operations out of Azerbaijan to wage war against Iran. Okay, and you've seen the various acts of sabotage. Blowing up nuclear sites and assassinating Iranian officials and so on. Right. So they don't always work out of Azerbaijan, but it is one of their base of operations because of its proximity to Iran. So I have a very, very strong feeling and inclination that this is Ukraine and it is Azerbaijan. These are the two clients of the Merkava Israeli tank, right? And you'll have people try to sell you this idea that it's so revolutionary because actually the turret is is put backwards and the engine is in the front and they can fit a bunch of people in there. Yeah, well, let's take a look at how well this tank did in Lebanon, right, in 2006. Not too well, right? Not too well. Yeah, they end up as scrap metal in Lebanon, and the Hezbollah were firing all sorts of ATGMs, these anti-tank guided missiles, and not just missiles, but rockets at the Israeli tanks and making mincemeat out of them. That's why 2006 was so crazy, because the Israelis never expected that one of their ships is going to be taken out, right, by Hezbollah, and that their tanks are going to get decimated like that. They were not expecting this. So the message here is that if the Ukrainians think that this is going to be their saving grace, I'm sorry, but the Leopards and the Bradleys could barely do it. I was just going through the photos with you guys of how they made mincemeat. The Russians made mincemeat out of an entire tank column of Bradleys and Leopards, right? And this is due to various factors: mines, the mud, the Russian fortifications, the drones, etc. But this thing doesn't stand a chance. This thing does not stand a chance. I'm sorry. The best that Israel can do with this tank is harass United Nations, peacekeepers who work in UNIFIL on the border. Right. That's the best they can do. They harass armored personnel carriers. They harass UN officials. They harass the Lebanese army, and then of course they also do it with the Syrian border, right? Where UNDOF are based. So my parents worked in both of those peacekeeping missions. I'm very familiar with Israel's harassment tactics. And you can go look at a bunch of times where the Israelis, they killed UN peacekeepers, right? And then they always say, "Oh, it was an accident." That's a different issue though, because those were not done with tanks, to my knowledge. But this is the best that the Merkava can do. Harass the UN. Yeah, that's all they're good for. I doubt it's going to do very well in combat. Sorry to say that,